or we can refrain from laying up undesirable karma in the future by beginning right now and following the things of spirit and the things of God. Therefore, these two things of which I have spoken, the stored up karma within us and these latent tendencies, plus automatic or independent action, these three things, they determine our destiny and fate. Once more, we have laid up within us certain karmas which will have to be fulfilled. We have also laid up within us certain tendencies, samskaras, which are the result of previous action, which will influence us. And thirdly, we can, as I have said, by either automatic action or independent action, fulfill these things or resist the evil tendencies. It is this thing which causes our destiny. And fate. And so you can see destiny is not an exact thing. It is flexible. And behind it all, always remember, never mind what your destiny is, what your fate is. You have the power as a child of God to get up out of this delusion, to rise above, to supersede this destiny and this fate by being one with the infinite Father. Remember the illustration of St. Francis? In spite of all his troubles, he raised the dead, he healed the sick. Why? Because he had superseded the law of destiny, so to speak. Of course, it had to be fulfilled. He had a weak body, but he had God. And then it makes no difference, as our Master said, when thy song flows through me, then death is sweet, or rather life is sweet, and death is sweet. There's no difference. So we can better our destiny by remembering these three things of which I have spoken. In this new year, two things are necessary to improve our destiny or give us a better destiny, so to speak. The first thing is to strongly resolve that we do what we should do, not what we want to do. That's a very important thing. And that we not be cowed down by these bad habits which we have and made to do the things we know we shouldn't do. Let us resolve to do the things we should do and not cater to these bad habits which we have. That's the first thing. And the second thing is it must be followed by action, spiritual discipline, whereby the resolve is put into fulfillment. You know, many make up New Year's resolutions and you see them a little later and they're all vanished. Why? Because they forgot to follow through, to carry through by spiritual discipline. Spiritual discipline simply means to make yourself do things that will lift you toward spirit. And that means to carry forth these resolves, if they are, for instance, to overcome bad habits of restlessness and such things, to so discipline yourself that you utilize the power within you to carry them to fulfillment. Then your New Year's resolutions will not be lost and forgotten. These things are very important, and that leads us to the question of will. Will is a very important thing, the question of will. Remember, God has given us all the will necessary to overcome each and everything that comes before us. He has given us sufficient will to handle every problem if we utilize the will in the right way. If we have simply the use of mechanical will, which means that we automatically do those things, and in the case of bad habits, we mechanically follow them, that's using your will as an automaton. We also see the explosive will of youth. Suddenly they get an idea and off they go, and sometimes it ends in a bad way. Why? Because they do not utilize the right form of will. In other words, our will should be the thinking will, the will of reason. And then when we have that, it should be followed by steady will. And that simply means carrying whatever you are going to do to fulfillment. Many do not do that. We have the power to do anything we want because we're children of God, we're made in His image. But we do not do it. But the greatest use of will is to unite your will with God's will, and then you have sufficient power for everything. Then your will is what? Divine will. Because we are made in the image of God, we are His children, as it says in the Scriptures, I say ye are God's, children of the Most High. That means that God's presence is within us, His will is within us. And if we remove the coverings which keep it obscured and unite our will with God's will, it becomes divine will sufficient for every need we have. Let us realize that will plays a very important part in deciding or bettering our destiny or fate. I have at this time, I'd like to rather read one of Master's references. He points things out so nicely, taken from his little book, Law of Success. Divine will has no boundaries. It works through laws known and unknown, natural and seemingly miraculous. And so when you supersede this worldly living and you are one with God's presence, you will see His hand working. You cannot follow how He works. He's too smart. He's too clever. But you can see His hand working. Therefore, you have superseded the law.